and welcome to this edition of Life with PB. I'm excited because I get a chance to share with you something that is in my heart today, something that I experienced a while ago, and that is moving on from failure. Moving on from failure. Many times, many of us have reasons to think we've done something before and it failed and we need to move forward from it, and we sometimes don't even know how to. I read a statement from Winston Churchill that says, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to move on or move forward that counts. How do you move forward from failure? Years ago, let me start with a story. Years ago, when I was in my first year at university, I went to a university. I was studying a course that I thought, it wasn't too much for me to handle. And I really had seen myself studying and, becoming, having a career in that path. I was really excited about it. But unfortunately, at the end of the first year, due to a lot of the times that I played away and not being serious enough in my studies, I failed that first year, and I actually experienced failure for the first time in my life. I was in so much shock. I'm not used to failing. My family is not used to me failing, so it was going to be a really difficult one to tell my father about my failure. I was going to break his heart. My dad, was his pride and joy, and as far as I'm concerned, he believes I can't do anything wrong, and I believed I couldn't do anything wrong as well. So failing was a big issue. In fact, it felt like the end of life. I remember on my way home thinking, why do I have to continue? For the first time in my life, I'm thinking, Jesus, if there is a rapture, let it come now. Because I just did not want to face my father and face the old failure. And to me, failure felt like the end of life. It was like there was just no way moving forward. I don't know where you're at in life and whether that is your story, whether you found yourself in a situation where you have failed at a task, failed at a relationship, failed in a career path, failed an exam, or failed in one thing or the other, and in your head you think that is fatal, it's finished, it's the end of the world. I'm here to remind you that success is great, but challenges come on the back of success. So success is not final, and failure is not fatal. It's not the end of the world. It might look like the end of the world at that point in time. You think there's no going forward, there's no way I'll be able to handle this, but somehow we pass through from day to day to day to day. And not long after my failure, when I told my parents, which really broke their heart. It broke my heart, broke their heart. It stalled us all. But there were a few things to do right on the back of that. And the first thing is, yes, you can grieve that failure. You can grieve for the time lost, the resources lost, the relationships lost, and also, the expectations that have been dashed. You're welcome to spend a little time to grieve about it, but don't spend the whole time there. Don't stay in the place of failure, because it's not the end. Failure is not fatal. That is just one of the process of going further forward. So after the failure, or you get a result and there's a failure, you can feel sorry, you can feel sad, you can feel down, but keep it really, really short. On the back of that, straight away, is to ask yourself, what are my options? There's almost always options, because the end is not really the end of the world. It's the end of that line. That doesn't mean there's no other line. In United Kingdom, we have different rail lines, and when you come to the end of one line, another line starts. So it's never really the end of the whole process, just the end of one line, one activity, one situation, one circumstance, one relationship. Is not the end of the world. So ask yourself the question, what are my options? I told my father about what happened with regards to my failure, and I remember after grieving for a very short period, which is literally 24 hours, the next day my father was out of the house, and we started thinking, what are the options? Okay, so you failed 1 year. The next year starts in September. You need to start uni the next day and start another course. You need to start as soon as yesterday. And it got into action. So it began to look at options. What are the options that are available for me? What are the options available for you if you find yourself in a place where you have failed on one track? You have not failed in the whole of your life. That's just one track. So ask yourself, from where you are at now, in the middle of that pit, what possibly can I do? Which other path could I take? That's the second thing. The third thing there was what my dad did, which was he went out to meet people. There will be people that have gone through what you have gone through before. There will be people that are going through what you have gone through before. And there are people that won't have gone through it, but they are available to help you get over the next hurdle and get into the next place and next phase of life. It's amazing that as my father went out to go and speak with a few people about me getting an opportunity to come and study something totally different in a different organization, there were people that were already waiting to help. You will be amazed that there are people that are already waiting to help if you ask questions. So don't just dwell in the place of failure. Yes, you can feel sorry, but ask yourself next what options. And the third thing is what people have God put around you as resources that can help you get into the next phase of life or into the next line of action. Like in my story, my dad spoke to a few people, and before I knew it, I got another opportunity to get back into study and get back into university to study a completely different course. Yes, I was open for the options. So when you open yourself to options, when you have not done well on one line and you ask people and God will put the right person in the right place, be very, very willing to do the next thing, which is the fourth thing, walk the options. Walk the options. So for me, in my new line of career, I walk the option. In my new line of study, I walk the option. I went in, I came tops in my class, and I did extremely well. I became an accountant. I studied professionally, and as they say, the rest is history. I am a great accountant today because of the failure I went through. I would never have considered accounting if I didn't go through the failure I went through. So the truth of the matter is there's so much more for you ahead. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. What counts is the ability to move ahead. What counts is the ability to be ready and willing to move forward. Once I was ready and willing to move forward, many, many things began to fall in place. My future was actually now defined by the bounce back on the back of the failure. And that's the thing. When you are experiencing failure and when you've experienced failure, you can realize if you really, really are ready to move further forward with God, that your future, your bouncing back can actually be better, and you can even go so higher than you could ever have imagined before. Failure is not the end of the world. And if you're there today, I can tell you that tomorrow will be brighter. Understand that, yes, you can feel sorry, which is the first thing. Grieve a little bit, but then dust yourself up and begin to look at your options, which is the second thing. You've got to look at the options. What are there for me? What could I do? Number 3, who are the people that God has placed around me that can help me walk in this new option that has been put before me? Number 4, I've got to be ready to work really hard to make these new options work. And when you do that, you'll be amazed the doors that God will open for you in this new place that He has prepared for you. Ladies and gentlemen, God does prepare great things ahead of His people, and He has prepared great things ahead of you. My failure led to so many other benefits. You won't believe it. I always say, I eventually went to a university where I met my husband. If I never failed, I would never ever have met my husband. And after my salvation, it's one of the best things that ever happened to me as an adult, and I am so grateful for that. I would very, very happily fail again and again and again to be able to meet up with Him. So wherever you are at now, you can move forward. Make sure you're ready to move forward. Remember, don't stay there yet, feel bad, cry a little bit, wipe your face, and it's time to move forward. And when you do, look at the options that are available to you. When you do that, look at the people that God has placed around you that can help you move in the new line and lane that God has prepared for you. And on the back of that, work really, really hard in this new place. Work really, really hard. You've been given another opportunity, and you can excel in it and through it. And when you do that, be ready to celebrate. They're ready to celebrate all the different achievements and victory that God will give you on this new line. So 5 ways in order to move forward and deal with failure. You don't have to stay in the place of failure. So I repeat that statement again. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. What counts is your ability to move forward on the back of that failure. So I really, really hope you're ready and willing to move forward. And I pray for you that the Lord will make it easy for you to be able to see what He has prepared for you so that you can walk in the path that He wanted and ordained for you from the very onset. Treasures are waiting for you on the back of that road. So be ready to forget about the past and move forward. Paul said, He forget those things that are past and He set His eyes on the things that are ahead. So I hope you're able to do the same. Thank you so much for taking time to listen to this series again. It's always a pleasure sharing this with you. Please do like, share, and comment, and get other people to subscribe to our website as well. Thank you so much. Subscribe to our YouTube page as well. It will be lovely to hear your feedback. Lovely, lovely, lovely to hear from you. Thank you so much for your time. Bye.